band or whatever is called Creation is Crucifixion, but that falls under a larger heading of hacktivist, a group. Thanks, sir. A larger heading of hacktivist that has to do with a group we started about the same time we started this group called the Carbon Defense League, which is a tactical media group. What that meant was we started out as 3 individuals, and we were looking at ways of stealing back communications tools and communication systems for use by activists. It started out, when I was over 20 or something, doing some simple projects, some very rudimentary interaction things, and the very first project we did was the reverse engineering of the Nintendo Gameboy. What we were trying to do with this project was take a look at socialization systems and the way socialization systems are used to filter information to children as an audience. We were trying to find a way that activists, or more traditional activists, could target an audience of children when it's otherwise impossible. It's improbable, and depending on community standard laws, it may be illegal in different areas to go out and hand a flyer to a child, depending on what the content of that flyer might be. It's highly questionable. So, being with these systems, understanding that since the beginning of time, our groups have always known that if you want to socialize someone, aka make them think a certain way, you grab them when they're young. It's the reason that reaching children through any media is so filtered and so controlled. It's the reason that television, church, school, parents have such a power hold over what reaches kids' minds. And a lot of the times kids grow up with nothing more than like the ideology that their parents had, and then that propagates itself for generations and generations. The reason is it's so impossible to get new information to kids, especially in isolated areas that don't migrate very much. So what we try to do is look at communication systems or tools or socialization tools that do target children. So we looked at video games as the initial medium for what we were doing. So reverse engineering the Game Boy was when we were looking at saying, how can we reach kids with a message, or allow other activists to use a new system, which was the Nintendo Game Boy or video games or whatever, a highly filtered system, infiltrate that and use it for your own, as a delivery method, as your own tool. So what we did was we spent a number of years working with people, developing our own hardware and software for hacking a Game Boy cartridge, putting in our programmable ROM chip, building the programmer interface, building the software to let us compile our own game and build our own game. Definitely this is a project that's somewhat dated because it's over 3 years old, but we finally finished the documentation of it just a couple weeks ago. We were lucky enough when we did that project originally to show it at a few different locations. It got the interest of a group called Artmark, which is rtmark.com if you're interested in what they do. And what they are is a legal corporation in this country. And as a legal corporation, they're lucky, meaning that they take the corporate laws that protect corporations and give corporations the same rights as individuals and apply them to projects that they monitor or control or own. So they've taken ownership of our Game Boy project in a legal sense. So they give us the ability to work with a team of lawyers to protect us, because what we're doing with that project is patent infringement, breaking intellectual property rights laws, as well as dealing with the subject matter that we actually deal with when we created our own game. And it's all highly illegal, questionable stuff, so it's good to have, when in place, it's good to have that legal system to protect us, as well as point out the flaws in corporate protection laws by using Artmark as a guise for our project.